Hi guys, welcome back to Excel Finance. This is VK, and today we're going to talk about the savings and sinking fund model. Now, this is a very important model if you want to manage your budget efficiently, and more specifically, it relates to the financial goals that you want to achieve. And obviously, when it comes to the savings, we have a number of different priorities, such as you want to build your emergency fund, you want to build a house deposit amount, you want trip you want to go to the travel somewhere, or you want to buy a specific thing which will require you to budget well. And this model, as you can see right now on the screen, is dividing structured in a couple of essential parts, which I'm going to talk right now. So at the top we do have this part, which is essentially small of a dashboard thing, which will tell you the total saved so far, how much left to save, and overall progress. Very important aspect is that it will give you the option to define you can define any currency that you want. Right now at the moment, but with the use of data validation, it contains 5 different currencies, so it's up to you whether it's applicable. Hopefully it's applicable to your market, the country where you live. But nevertheless, at the moment, it's if I want to change from pounds to dollars, I just need to select dollars, and you will see that the model then changes the dollars, the amounts in respect to the dollars across the whole model. Now this is the small dashboard, and kind of gives you the good overview of where you are right now. Now the second part, which is very important, is this part where you can see all your saving goals and information related to them. Now the model accounts for 40 different savings goals. I think it's more than enough for you to track, which is really good. Obviously, with the model per se, you can play around, and you can set up, you can forecast in the way that your savings goals can be achieved. So let's do something very interesting. So instead of the savings one, let's say we're gonna put emergency fund here. We will put a house deposit. We will put something like trip to Maldives. And we also can put, you want an iMac, purchase an iMac, right? So essentially, once we define the savings goal, we can then move to the next column, which is the starting date, to forecast in how many months and by which date you're actually going to be achieving that goal. It's very important to make sure we define the start date. Once we define the start date, we're going to move to your goal, which is the goal amount. So we can change it to 100K instead of the 50, just to give you an overview, an idea how it works. The starting point, it's up to you kind of to define what is your starting point. Maybe you're starting from 0, maybe not, but essentially this is where it all starts. And hopefully, you're not, everybody's in different situation, but nevertheless, if you're not starting from 0, that's great. So let's say what we are for the emergency fund, we already have 20K. Perfect. And then you will see that the rest is actually is automated. So all the other formulas and columns are automated, which you don't have to get any input. The critical part now is to go to the next parts structures within the model. You see that if we move further to the right side, we will have a specific, again, dashboards, graphical representations of our sinking funds, and the overview, the distribution, and how many months it requires us to achieve this. But the most important part right now is actually right to the transaction tracker. And the way it works is that we have a specific, you define the date, you will define the savings category, are defined on the basis of what you input in your savings goal in the main table. Given that we have changed from savings one to emergency fund, we know that that amount applies to the emergency fund. The only thing that we need to change is that we say that this is an emergency fund, and we contributed this month on 1st of January 2023, we contributed 5,000. You will see right now, once we go back, that the model accounts the monthly contributions of 5K, which again, we use the sum if function. So what we do right now is using the sum if function. If I'll double click on this, you will see that we select the number one in terms of the range. We define then where the selection of the criteria is, and then we will define the criteria, which is our emergency fund, which is the last part of it. There are a couple of, this is a kind of a called double sum if function, because it's a conditional sum if function, because it contains within the if function. So essentially, if basically the monthly amount is 0, we don't want to see anything, therefore we do the equivalent to 0 and then comma, then you can see open brackets, close brackets, and then as a value if true, and if the value is false, we will copy again this copy and keep this as it is. So everything is actually automated. And the great thing about this, let's do the following. Let's do something different. So let's say 1st of February 2023. Again, let's do emergency fund, but this time we are contributing, let's say 2K, because this is the month that in this month we can only contribute 2K, which is fine. So what I want, actually, number one, something which has been missed and I can see right now. So I will drag this across, and this is now working just fine to make sure that we reflect that the dollar symbol is there. But nevertheless, what we will do is that you will see that the average is 3.5K, right? So it does the average, your average contributions across the whole process, and this average contributions, it will later takes into consideration the month by which how many months it takes. If you will continue with this average contribution, how many months it will take you to reach your goals. And I think this is something quite important to realize, that on the basis if you'll continue with 3.5K per, like on average across the whole transaction tracker, that it will take you 21 months, and then using the round, obviously we will just purely divide how much is left to save by the average of the savings, how much as defined in transaction tracker, and we will come up with 21 months. And then using the end of month date, we'll be able to and this is why the start date is so important. So you can see end of month function, we will refer to the end of month as a start date. So we'll in column E, and then we'll move to the essentially how many months ahead, and this is why we are linking to the month which we've just calculated. And this is pretty much it, actually. This is done. So, and then obviously we do have some graphs, and it kind of gives you a good representation. So essentially, as long as we'll continue, I'm just gonna go quickly. Let's say house deposit, we put 1,000. You will see right now 1,000 appears here. If we want to put trip to Maldives, we can put 500. Boom, it appears automatically. If we want to put iMac, let's say we have 250. Boom, it appears automatically, and it will tell you exactly how much and by when we are going to achieve our goals. And this is just purely the graphical representations of what you have input in the transaction tracker. So essentially, transaction tracker, as long as you use, actually, it's important to maintain the dates, but the most important date is here, the column E, which will tell you exactly you're able to forecast and how many months and by which date you will be achieving your goals. So this is pretty much it, I think. Easy model, but nevertheless it's very powerful in terms of the start to track your budget, and obviously managing your savings and sinking fund efficiently to forecast it. And yeah, if you like it, obviously I'll give the link in the description below, and give me a comment as well. Anything that you really if you're thinking about developing your own, and if you want to resell these, do get in touch with me. I'll give my link to the Fiverr gig as well, as I always do right now, and we can work together to develop a very even there is always room for improvement. We can definitely track and we can definitely improve even this model. So nevertheless, thank you for watching. All the information will be in the description of this video below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.